And now we have our special report from our reporter Kun Sathapat Pathong, who will report from the Thai-Cambodian border.
Although the International Court of Justice has announced its decision to order both Thailand and Cambodia to withdraw troops from the disputed border and set up the demilitarized zone, villagers in Phumsaron village expressed concerns over the situation as they don't want Thailand to withdraw its troops. Meanwhile, all of them still keep their lives going on and get themselves prepared in case of emergency. Just a day before the International Court of Justice's announcement, the news team asked the commander of 23rd Field Army Force for permission to observe the overall situation in Khao Pravihan National Park, but he refused. He reasoned that any movement in the area close to the disputed border might affect the situation, and Cambodia might take this as an excuse to accuse Thailand of threat. Meanwhile, the commander said confidently that the Field Army Force in charge of security along the border is prepared for any kind of situations. The news team later decided to visit Punoi checkpoint, which is the entrance of Khao Pravihan National Park and just only around 8 kilometers far from the ancient temple. Villagers still enter the park for work, but first, they have to report and show their ID cards to army personnel stationing at the checkpoint 24 hours. Before the announcement of ICJ, villages in the Phumsaron village in Kantalalak district accepted that they were concerned over the situation, so most of them kept themselves updated with news both from official and local media. They also kept themselves prepared for any situations that might occur. Each household had prepared a bag containing clothes, documents, and important stuff inside. They said, in case of emergency, they just grabbed the bag and immediately escaped from the area. The positions of shelters and vehicles to take villages away from the area had also been announced by local officers. Fortunately, there's been no violence and use of weapons until now. On Monday, the news team finally got permission to observe the situation on Pa Moi Dang. Telescope showed positions of Cambodian soldiers stationing around the ancient temple. The army personnel said they are all ready for every situation. Right now, they just wait for the Thai government to order what to do. However, concerns come to villagers again after the ICJ announced its decisions, which one of those is to order Thailand and Cambodia to withdraw troops from the disputed border and set up the militarized zone. They said they are not confident that if Thailand withdraws troops, Cambodia will do the same. Moreover, villagers in Phumsaron village strongly disagree with the demilitarized zone as they believed it exceeds Thai territory, including Pa Moi Dang and some parts of Khao Pravihan National Park, which are exactly under the kingdom's sovereignty, while Thai troops are still stationing along the border to keep monitoring the situation. Despite of the ICJ's decision, they said they would not withdraw the troops from the area and insisted that they will only listen to the Thai government to order. So far, villagers in Phumsaron village continue their lives as usual. Most of them stay close to information by watching TV and listening to local public relations center. Some of them have canceled their working plan and get more prepared due to the uncertainty of the situation. However, these people told the news team that they don't expect any clash and hope to see a peaceful end. Sathapat Pathong, Asean TV, Kantalalak, Phumsaron Village, Thailand.
We have the analysis reports from the nations on with no government in place, compliance with ICJ ruling is difficult.
Government under Prime Minister Apisit Wechachjiwa is not able to make any decision to comply with the International Court of Justice order on the Pravihan case. The task will be left to the yet-to-be-established new government. The new government has many hot potatoes to handle. There are many legal questions about the work course order, and Thailand's procedure in complying with such an order is not so clear. Today, Prime Minister Abisit needs to call an urgent meeting with concerned agencies to discuss details of the court's injunction. But despite such a meeting, he will still be unable to take any decision as his government's mandate has come to an end. To comply with the ICJ's order, Thailand might need Parliament's approval in accordance with the Article 190 of the current constitution. Legally speaking, troop withdrawal from the areas regarded as Thailand territory could be considered as a matter concerning sovereignty. Therefore, the parliamentary process needs to be involved in the decision and the practice. The problem is that Thailand Parliament now has just the Senate. The members of the lower house have not yet been fully endorsed to perform their duties. It might take a bit more time for the Election Commission and the Parliament to allow MPs to perform their functions, as well as to establish the new government, which can take a decision on the matter. The ICJ on Monday ordered Thailand and Cambodia to withdraw troops from the Pravihan and its vicinity to restore peace, pending the interpretation of the 1962 judgment as requested by Cambodia. The court also banned military activities in the so-called demilitarized zone, which covers the temple and the area claimed by Thailand and Cambodia. Many security agencies doubt that the militarized zone is very large or that it covers a great deal of land on the Thai side, thus causing difficulties in complying. The court also urged Thailand and Cambodia to allow Indonesian observers from ASEAN to enter the disputed territory to monitor a permanent ceasefire. Thailand has delayed this decision to accept the observers since the plan was initiated in February. Supalak Kanchana Kundi, The Nation Analysis for ASEAN TV.
In the latest interview, the ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has ruled out on serving a jail term, saying he will have to stand for justice by not accepting unfair legal action against him. Speaking to the Thai PBS in a special interview aired yesterday night, former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra said he was not fighting for himself but for justice system as a whole. He said he could not accept the 2-year jail term against him because he viewed the case as unfair to him from the beginning. The Supreme Court's Criminal Division for holders of political office ruled that Thaksin had abused his authority to help his ex-wife, Kun Ying Pochaman Napampet, from buying land on Rashada Pisek. Thaksin said the case was not fair from the beginning as they made his political opponents the investigators against him, and the investigative panel was set up through an order by the coup makers. Thaksin said he had actually been punished by having to live in exile for more than 5 years. When the interviewer asked him about the mistakes he thought he had made during his two terms as the Prime Minister, Thaksin apologized to Muslims in the southern border provinces for having used violence in dealing with violence in the Deep South. He admitted that when people are in power for a long time, sometimes they may have to use power too much. During the interview, Thaksin mostly focused on reconciliation. He said he would follow the example of former rebel leader and former South Africa President Nelson Mandela in using sports as a tool to bring about reconciliation and unity in Thailand. Thaksin said Mandela used rugby to reunite the nation, but he would use the campaign to push the Thai national football team as a campaign to create unity in the country. Thaksin said he, as a victim, would be the one to start reconciliation and has already forgiven his political enemies by inviting all of them to have coffee with him in Dubai. He said he was ready to meet both former Army Chief General Sonthi Bunyarattanaklin and People's Alliance for Democracy co-leader Sonthi Limthongkul for a coffee session in Dubai.
Contact was lost yesterday with an Army Black Hawk helicopter flying sorties as it prepared to evacuate the bodies of 5 Army personnel killed in the crash of another chopper on July 11 near the Thai-Burma border. The Black Hawk that disappeared yesterday had 9 passengers, including VIP passengers, on board. In addition to 4 crew members, the 5 passengers were the commander of the elite 9th Infantry Division, March General Tawan Reungsi, the chief of the evacuation operation, and Channel 5 cameraman Sornchai Kongtan Nukun, along with 2 captains. Speaking to the media late last night, the commander of the 1st Army Area, Lieutenant General Udomdet Sitabut, said the incident was very likely a crash, possibly a direct hit on the ground or into a hillside as a result of poor visibility due to bad weather. 1st Army Area spokesman Colonel Thammanun Withi came up later with possible good news, saying that Thai search parties had met up with Burmese soldiers who gave vague and unconfirmed details about the Black Hawk possibly not crashing, but making an emergency landing somewhere. No further details were available at press time last night.
The governor of the Bank of Thailand has expressed confidence that there were no signs of bubbles in the banking sector, which witnesses average loan growth of more than 10% in the first half of this year. As Central Bank Chief Prasan Trairatwarakul said that most of the commercial banks' loans were extended for investment and acquisition. He said that now there is no sign of bubbles. We are following this as loans grow over 10% in the first 2 quarters. A survey by our officials of banks executives showed that most loans were extended for activities like investment or acquisition, not for speculation that they cause bubbles. Siam Commercial Banks or SCB posted net profit of 8.1 billion baht in the second quarter, up 53% from the same period in 2010. The profit surge was attributed to a 29.7% increase in net interest income on the back of 21.1% loan growth and a 36.4% rise in non-interest income from increase in insurance premiums. Non-performing loans or NPL dropped to 2.69%, a new low after the 1997 financial crisis.
Coming up after the break, Cat Telecom will soft launch its 3G service today and many more stories.